Hello and welcome to the Fire Chief's video message for April 2023. Joining me here in the studio today is Pete with his spring jokes. So welcome, Pete.
Hey, good morning, Chief. Good to see you.
So a lot's going on. That's kind of the norm, but in case folks didn't know, last week I updated the organization with my retirement plans as of June. So just about 90 days from now, as I leave on June 30th from Montgomery County and move to a department, Cowlitz 2 Fire Rescue out on the West Coast in Washington State. So,
yeah, congratulations. Good for you. I know it's not quite the drop the mic time just yet, but congratulations. And I know you and the family are looking forward to that. But it remains to be seen and said that thank you for your service and time and many years here. More on that later.
Yeah, so exactly. More on that later. There's a search, advertisement for the positions getting ready to occur. That's being orchestrated through the county executive's office and the OHR's group. So more on that and more on timing and plans and stuff. But we talked about busy. We got a lot of activity going on with new things, but let's first talk about the incidences that we've been working on and having.
Yeah, just in the change of the seasons. I mean, weather has been a topic of conversation for sure, but we've had a number of incidents, transportation incidents along I-270 and the Beltway, as many as a couple of house fires, a couple of significant fires. Gaithersburg area and elsewhere, but
yeah. So I mean, the weather being near 80 one day, back in the 50s another day, it's definitely fluctuating. Yep. Almost early summer in some perspectives. The crews, everybody has been busy. Another fatal house fire may be upon us with the Whetstone fire. 911 call, occupant trapped. Excellent work by the crews, advanced fire from the rear of the house, advanced fire throughout the house once as entry was made, so a VES attempt. They located this victim, got a ROSC on scene, transported to the hospital in critical condition. 3 others hurt, 2 from the house, 1 firefighter in that event, but that was Easter morning, early on Sunday morning. Significant event. Just a day later, we had significant fire in a house down on Country Club Drive in the backside of Congressional Country Club in Tens area. So another big one. What about Prairie Rose?
Yeah, that was a fire that occurred in the evening, late night, early morning, and that was unfortunately a pet and a dog died, did not survive, and was deceased there. We've had a number of incidents recently. Including the fire on Whetstone on Easter morning that involved some pets. So certainly that's a reminder of everybody, but we're coming across those more often. Also some injuries, so it's, we've had a big emphasis lately with our after the fire activities, as well as a couple of other initiatives, whether it be lithium batteries or high-rise safety. So we've been out, the crews have done a great job county-wide getting the message out, but one of the things is talking about the importance of having a fire escape plan, knowing what to do, and these incidents highlight some of that.
Right. So when we did the changer clock a couple weeks back, we did a county-wide focus on outreach, focusing on those roughly 80 apartment buildings, non-sprinklered multifamilies, as well as all of the other buildings in the county. Great work done by the crews over that 3 days. A lot of follow-up occurred with risk reduction, as with home inspections as well as community meetings, and that's key and ever present. As I said, every time you get out there on a call, check that smoke alarm in a private residence, look at those door closures, look at the fire safety building design activities that are there to help us, but more specifically to help the residents. So you outlined the other tentacles to risk reduction, and that's a pretty good segue into what's coming with the FY24 budget. We're right in the midst of that. By the end of May will be the final discussion on the final adoption of a budget. The council's committee level activities is occurring as we speak, reviewing the contracts, the bargaining agreements, and the compensation, and then the fire specific stuff. There's a lot of good coming in the proposed fire rescue budget.
Yeah, a little bit of an increase for us, and pretty much status quo, but as you mentioned, they've been able to add a couple of civilian positions there, with a couple of them going to community risk reduction.
Right, so the FY23 budget, we're still in that. RC52 is still at the academy. They graduate on June 30th. A lot of the FY23 changes are tied to that class graduating and those people being available. So there will be a different announcement coming out about the changes in June with additional services, additional capacity starting. So there was a lot of things added for 23 on the station level services. A little bit of change coming that'll be announced here shortly. The 24 plan includes new positions. I believe that number's at 11 today. 9 of those 11 are administrative professional civilian folks. Like you said, 3 of them are in risk reduction. 2 educators and coordinators, and then a uniformed lieutenant for outreach coordination, as well as 2 more folks in mental health, one being a peer support or CISM team leader full-time position, and then a clinical supervisor, special administrative staff in both human resources, fiscal management, internal affairs, fleet road tech, IT technician in support services. So a bunch of infrastructure support or under the waterline to support the iceberg, as some of us have been using. So on the academy front, you know, like I said, recruit class 52 graduates on June 30th. Recruit class 53 is scheduled to start on July 17th. So.
Yeah, and I think 60 so are in the current class, and probably about the same in the new class.
Yep, they're about 60 today. We're slated for 59 graduates next year. That's going to be split over 2 classes, so we'll probably be starting about close to 40 and 35 between the 2. That's the number. But definitely working through. CPAT is getting ready to start again in the month of May. That'll be for the January class. So the academy process is, you know, on the churn, pumping out recruits, working through applicants.
Yeah. And I just, sorry, I'm going to divert topics a little bit, but just popped into my mind about the training academy. You recently hosted a event with the Council of Governments, yep, talking about the batteries and recycling with our partners in DEP.
So talking about trash or the solid waste
and
the batteries, while we have operationally, as you know, fire service, been talking about how we respond to EV fires and lithium-ion battery fires. We've had that scooter fire / explosion down in Silver Spring. That's all getting close to about 9 months ago now. That was like September, October of last year. We've had a couple. We almost have events, usually weekly, where there's some type of battery thing. Either you sat on your phone, you overcharged your laptop. One of those was a bunch of batteries in a fire, as well as a couple of our batteries off one of the ladder trucks, you know, having a little...
On the same incident, by the way.
On the same incident, having a little oopsie needing to be dealt with. So yeah, Ivan Browning as the tie to the Council of Governments committee, Kate Stewart, who is the president, chairwoman of the Council of Governments group this year, as well as Montgomery County Councilwoman, was there with solid waste around the counties, around the region, talking about and did a very informative demonstration about the dangers of and how, you know, a battery pack, if it gets crushed in a trash compactor or trash cycle, you know, does its thermal runaway and releases, and then, you know, cooking a battery. So great work done by the hazmat team. One of the things is the resources are arriving for, I'm going to use that general word, overpacking. It's very specific as to how we need to address those batteries as we've shared information. If you're a company officer and you think you've got a lithium battery or battery issue, reach out to that on-duty HMO because there's definitely long-term concerns in how that's managed and where that battery is taken so that it's safe.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've also added some tools to the toolkit as far as how to mitigate some of these incidents,
yeah, so
nozzle and blankets and stuff.
I'm going to say a small distributor nozzle attached to a piercing nozzle option has been put out on some of the engine companies. Absolutely, the hazmat units have the blankets and some of the original overpacked material and drums, but each case is definitely unique. The challenges there are ensure the health and safety first, because when those things do light off, there's some very, very bad, gases and production products in that process. So definitely focus on patient care, even if the battery seems to already be safe and the safe outside. So reach out for help, EMS supervisor, hazmat officer, to get those right resources coming your way.
Yep. So sorry to get you off track on your initial discussion on the budget and so forth.
Also on the new stuff is new MDCs are rolling out. Those are an upgrade on the apparatus. It's going to be a little bit of a phase process because you really can't just do 250 MDCs at one time, and that's truly the number near close of what we have out there in apparatus. So that's a work-on process and an MC time update. We're always doing IT training. Everybody appreciates the challenges so that we are safe with our computer systems, but ensure that you take that MC time training, because that is important for sure.
Hey, I'm going to throw another wild card at you, the Station 35. Progress being made on that? We
were aware of about a 45-day delay. So they said summertime, so that pushes it roughly to a September timeframe. I don't know if there's any more updates on that. So they're roughly moving along, and there's information out there, and there is a live feed available off the DGS's website. You can see the progress being made. So good work. Love it to see it coming. It's been 16 years.
Yep. We'll let you know.
I'll let you know. No worries. So one of the things about these videos is always to say thanks, always to highlight a case in point. So I was at an outreach event about 2 weeks ago, ran into a lady whose family member had a significant and tragic medical circumstance, and she was overwhelmed with appreciation and thanks for the crew. The steps the crew took, the extra steps in her eyes that the crew took, and it was a great moment to be able to hear that, even greater moment to call the crew and to pass on her thanks to a crew that did what each and everybody does every day. Great care, top-notch care, service, and support. So thanks to everybody for what you're doing every day. Thank you for doing that, because those little efforts, what you think is little, is paramount and humongous to these folks. So keep it up. Thank you much. So anything else, Pete?
No, I mean, thanks. And yeah, I don't know if this is going to be our last show or not, but probably not. I think we got a couple more in us.
We do have a couple more in us here at the studio. I'm not gone until June 30th. Okay. So we'll be here with Tracy and Andre and do another couple of videos. So.
Yeah, I know your schedule's filling up.
Absolutely. So again, as it is just after Easter, spring is here. If you're an allergy sufferer, I support you, because the pollen is going crazy and the weather is changing. Get out there, drill, get out there, area familiarization, get out there, engage with the community. So stay safe. Till next month.